Hey, what's happening, guys? It is that moment that I know everybody has been waiting for. It is the return of Eli Manning. What we've all been clamoring for. DFS is back. Fantasy football is relevant again. Eli Manning is back in the fold. You guys pick up on the sarcasm? Good. I'm landing on pretty thick.
Yeah. Although I know you think he's going to play well tonight, so
Oh, whoa. Don't put words in my mouth, Belvin. I think I wouldn't be surprised by him playing well. I do not expect that.
you want him to play well.
Well, of course I want him to play well. If you guys probably heard us whining about this, Bellman and I got a big fantasy matchup in our big year-long league tonight. I got Miles Sanders. You got Eagles defense. I think you got like a 6 or 7 point lead right now. Should be a tight one. I'm just hoping they rule out Jordan Howard here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, Overlay Fantasy Sports. Go check it out. We just dropped the video a few moments ago breaking down tonight's NBA plays. I like this one tonight. I am excited to get into it. Go check out the details. Go win yourself a progressive jackpot tonight, guys. I felt like I was so close on Saturday night. You're looking at a top prize about $18.40 in that $22 package. Go in there and get it. If you can't swing it, though, no shame in going for that $714 prize off of $2.5 to bet. That's a hell of a return.
Yeah, sure is.
All right, but we are here to talk DK. Giants and Eagles, couple of less than stellar teams. If we have time, we'll get into a drafters draft already. You get 100% deposit if you use the link below. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Let's talk about ALSHON Jeffrey. Again, Philadelphia should be able to move the ball tonight. Again, the Giants, their pass defense, their run defense, their defense as a whole is less than stellar. This is about, I'm trying to think of any other team in NFL right now where the number one wide receiver is so much better than anybody. Probably my Packers. But ALSHON is like the go-to guy right now. Ertz is not 100%. They're going to have to throw it to some receiver. I mean, why would you look for anybody but ALSHON?
Yeah, you've got definitely Adams comes to mind, Julian Edelman, maybe Tyreek Hill. But yeah, Jeffrey is definitely one of those guys right now. The Giants have been piss poor against the pass all year. Expect Jeffrey to eat here. And yeah, he's been kind of a polarizing guy throughout his career, but he's still a rock solid wideout in a great spot tonight. One game slate, I struggle to get away from him here.
We actually, in a weird way, it reminds me of Ricky Rubio. He's productive when he's on the chance, but the best availability or the best ability is availability. And he's just so routinely injured throughout his career that you never really get to see this guy productive for any extended period of time. He's healthy right now. Does that continue through the game? I mean, I guess I never really want to bet on that for ALSHON, but I like him a lot tonight.
Yeah, all good points.
All right, next up, Miles Sanders. Again, I'm rooting hard for this guy, so if I play the Showdown tonight, I got to play Miles Sanders because I'm already rooting for him, and I don't want to disperse my cheerdom a little bit too much. Now, we're assuming Jordan Howard is out. We don't know that for sure. It's the most likely scenario, but we don't know that one for sure. If Jordan Howard is cleared to play, I have way less intrigue on Miles Sanders tonight because then there are more running backs in play, which is obviously a bad thing for Miles Sanders. But the nice part about Sanders, even if the Giants shock the world tonight and play well, he's viable in all game scripts. He's good in the passing game. He's good in the run game. Desperate Eagles team against the less than stellar defense. Lock him in.
Yeah, he makes a ton of sense. Like, again, even if Howard's in, they want to get him the rock. You got to think Philly's going to have the ball quite a bit today with Eli Manning leading the Giants on the other side. I hope that he cramps up and misses a lot of the game. I don't want him to he cramps up, and this is a big letdown, but those are for obviously my own reasons.
I mean, if there was a week for guys to get injured to be this one, I already whined about it on the earlier one today. It just sucks watching so many people lose yesterday because of injuries. They were all over the board yesterday. Again, I talked about it just in our fantasy matchup. I lost Derrick Henry run and Mark Andrews run, and then Rashad Penny gets hurt, so Chris Carson saw the whole game where he might have not before. For all we know, he loses run. So you don't really know how things play out. It was abundant yesterday, and it doesn't mean it'll happen tonight. It just seems like that week, though.
Truth.
All right, guys. Next up, KADEN Smith, New York Giants tight end. This one's pretty simple right here. You don't have a lot of options for cap space. He has 7 targets per game over the last 2 with Ingram and Red Allison out. Cap space. We got check down Eli going tonight. This helps you get to the top players on the slate that you want. He's a top place to go. He's your top pay down option.
He makes a lot of sense. I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not more expensive, knowing Ingram's out, et cetera. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised at all if on this slate he had been like $5K. So I think you just take the 2,200 and set it and forget it.
You know what? I didn't really look for when they dropped this slate on DraftKings per when they announced that Ingram was out for sure. I don't know if there was any crossover right there, which could possibly be it. But he is. He's way too inexpensive based on what we've seen him do over the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, speaking of tight ends, Dallas Goedert to the Philadelphia Eagles. These mid-tier options on these showdown slates are usually less than stellar. There's not a lot of guys you can normally grab in like that 7 to like 4K range. Dallas Goedert fits in there. Again, he's my favorite of like what I would call the mid-tier options. He's got 8 plus, 7.9 plus DK points in every game since week 4 or 5, except for the blowout win against the Jets. We know the Giants' pass D isn't great. Ertz is, he's good to go. And I'm not saying Ertz is out of play tonight, but Ertz is not 100% still. So they're weak at wide receiver. He just makes a lot of sense and really helps you build cap space.
We talked about this on our members only video. He's just productive, right? He's a top tight end in the league, and he'd be a starting tight end, and he'd be the number 1 tight end for most teams. He's still really cheap for what he does. Again, especially with Ertz, not 100%. He just makes too much sense here.
Like we talked about this at length, like where wouldn't he be the number 1 tight end? San Francisco, Kansas City, here in Philadelphia. And then after that, I think you can start creating arguments for almost any team. I'm probably drawing a blank on 1 to 2 guys right now, but he's good. This is not a situation where he's just a fill-in scrub. He's a very good tight end, and if he wasn't to have Zach Ertz in front of him, he'd be a beast.
So, like, I do put him on the same level of talent as I do guys like Waller and Mark Andrews, which is the next level of guys. And he's right there.
Yeah, we like Darren Waller. I'd be curious to see what Waller would do in a different spot. He's stuck on a team with no wide receivers. It's interesting. I don't know how good Darren Waller is yet. I like him, and he looks to be good when I watch him play. Yeah, but, there's a lot of talent right there. Hunter Henry might be a little better.
That's another good one, though. Like, he's right on that level, right? He's definitely a top 10 tight end, though, because we have not named 9 other guys.
No question. All right, moving along. Sterling Shepard of the New York Giants. Now, I don't think of a lot of the guys offensively for the Giants as like must plays today, but as we discussed earlier, we really have no idea what to expect with Eli Manning tonight, and we wouldn't be surprised if he looks like the trash that we've seen him look like a lot over the last couple of seasons. But we also wouldn't be flabbergasted if he played well in this spot tonight. The Eagles are not a good football team, obviously. And if I was to play a wide receiver from the Giants, it would be Sterling Shepard. Quite honestly, he's the only guy here with any kind of resume with Eli Manning.
Yeah, we don't know what to expect from the Giants here, but he's the one guy that has some rapport with him. He's also their best receiver, so it makes sense. Aside from Barkley, he's their best offensive player, especially without Ingram. So, yeah, he's also got upside if you think Eli plays well, which I know is something that you think might happen. So, again, if you have to choose one guy, a receiver for the Giants, it's Shepard for me. And in only a 1-game scenario, it's hard to look away from him here.
Yeah, I don't think of him as a must because, again, I'm not surprised at all either if the Giants struggle mightily tonight. It's just a very unknown in my eyes because, again, Eli's got some weird intangibles and plays well at weird times. But if I were to pick a guy that was a skill position player from the Giants, outside of obviously the backup tight end for cap space and Saquon Barkley, he would be the guy I'd be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, best of luck tonight. Go win that money. Thumbs up is appreciated. Go check out Overlay. Play on some drafters. The link is below. 100% deposit match. Have a wonderful Monday.
Let's get it.